Hey there, drivers. I'm Wayne. Let's break down one of the most important and sometimes confusing aspects of keeping your fleet running smoothly with hours of service regulations. Whether you're a driver logging long hours on the road, a fleet manager coordinating schedules, or part of the safety team making sure everything's on track, understanding these rules is key to staying compliant and avoiding costly fines. In this video, we're going to unpack what HOS regulations are, why they matter, and what kind of fines you could face if you don't play by the rules. So grab your coffee and let's dive into the world of HOS. What are hours of service regulations? Hours of service, or HOS regulations, are rules set by the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA, to limit the number of hours a commercial motor vehicle driver can be on duty. The goal? To prevent driver fatigue and keep everyone safe on the road. These regulations apply to most drivers operating CMVs in interstate commerce and are a crucial part of maintaining safety standards across the industry. HOS rules dictate how many hours a driver can be on duty, how much of that time can be spent driving, and how much rest is required between shifts. Key HOS rules you need to know. Let's break down the key rules every driver and fleet operator should know. The 11-hour driving limit. Drivers are allowed to drive for up to 11 hours after 10 consecutive hours off duty. This means once you start your day, you have a maximum of 11 hours behind the wheel before you need to take a break. The 14-hour on-duty limit. The 14-hour rule states that drivers cannot drive beyond the 14th consecutive hour after coming on duty, following 10 consecutive hours off duty. While you can work beyond this period, you can't drive after the 14-hour mark. The 30-minute break rule. After 8 hours of driving time, drivers are required to take a 30-minute break. This break can be taken in off-duty status, sleeper berth, or on duty, not driving. The 60-70 hour limit. This rule limits drivers to 60 hours of driving over 7 consecutive days or 70 hours over 8 consecutive days. After reaching these limits, drivers must take at least 34 consecutive hours off duty before they can reset and start fresh. The sleeper berth provision. Drivers using the sleeper berth provision must take at least 8 consecutive hours in the sleeper berth, plus a separate 2 consecutive hours either in the sleeper berth, off duty, or any combination of the two. Why HOS regulations matter. Why should you care about HOS regulations? Well, for one, they're the law, and following them is critical to staying on the right side of the FMCSA. But beyond that, these rules are in place to keep drivers safe and reduce the risk of fatigue-related accidents. A well-rested driver is a safer driver, plain and simple. For businesses, staying compliant with HOS regulations helps avoid hefty fines, legal issues, and potential shutdowns. Plus, it ensures that your operation runs smoothly without the disruptions that come with non-compliance. The consequences of HOS violations. So what happens if you or your drivers don't stick to the HOS rules? Let's talk about the fines and penalties that can come your way if you're not careful. Fines and penalties. Violating HOS regulations can lead to significant fines, both for drivers and for the company. The fines can vary depending on the severity of the violation, but can range from a few $100s to thousands per violation. For example, a serious violation like driving beyond the allowable hours can result in fines up to $16,000. Out-of-service orders. If a driver is found to be in violation of HOS rules during an inspection, they can be placed out of service. This means they're not allowed to drive until they've had the required rest. An out-of-service order can lead to delayed deliveries, missed deadlines, and additional costs for your operation. Impact on CSA scores. HOS violations negatively impact your compliance, safety, accountability score. A poor CSA score can lead to more frequent inspections, increased insurance premiums, damage to your company's reputation, and your ability to get work. Legal liability. In the event of an accident, HOS violations can be used as evidence of negligence in a lawsuit. This can lead to costly legal battles and settlements, which can have a lasting impact on your business. Tips for staying compliant with HOS regulations. Now that we've covered the importance of HOS regulations and the consequences of violations, let's look at some practical tips to help you stay compliant. Use electronic logging devices. The FMCSA requires most drivers to use electronic logging devices, ELDs, to track their HOS. ELDs automatically record driving time, making it easier to stay within the legal limits. Make sure your ELDs are functioning correctly and that all drivers are trained on how to use them. Plan routes and schedules wisely. Careful planning can help you avoid situations where drivers are tempted to push beyond the HOS limits. Factor in time for breaks, delays, and unexpected detours when scheduling routes and assigning shifts. Educate your team. Make sure everyone on your team, drivers, dispatchers, and managers, understands the HOS rules and the importance of compliance. Regular training sessions can help reinforce these regulations and prevent violations. Monitor HOS compliance regularly. Review your driver's logs and HOS records to catch any potential issues before they become violations. If you spot a problem, address it immediately to prevent fines and penalties down the line. Foster a culture of safety. Encourage a company-wide culture that prioritizes safety and compliance. Make sure drivers know they won't be penalized for sticking to HOS rules, even if it means a delivery might be delayed. Safety should always come first. Keep it between the lines and keep the shiny side up. Be safe. Please like and subscribe.